Hi, everybody, and happy Monday. It's your friend Ryan Rolfe with the Dsmsold team at Keller Williams Legacy Group here in Des Moines, Central Iowa. And it is Monday once again, so it's time for Monday Market Update. Let's jump in and talk about what's happening in the real estate space. So, we're talking about inventory today and what the market is looking like. So, if we're looking at everything in the Des Moines Area Association of Realtors market area, so that's resale, new construction, condos, townhomes, single family, everything. We are very close to a balanced or even market at 3.9 months of the inventory. So 4 months of inventory and above, so 4 to 6, would be an even or balanced market favoring both buyers and sellers. And then 6 months or more would be a buyer's market favoring buyers over sellers. And then less than 4 months of inventory would be a seller's market favoring sellers. So existing home sales are, if we're looking at just resale homes, so existing homes, those are at 3.3 months of inventory. So it's still in the seller's market, a little bit further away from becoming a balanced or even market. We may still see that this year, depending on inventory growth and what happens with interest rates. And, are buyers still out looking at homes, or are they sitting at the sidelines and, waiting for rates to come down, which, as you know, I've mentioned throughout the year and last year, that if you're somebody that's selling in a market where you've got a lot more competition, that's where we really need to focus on the marketing plan and how are we standing out against the competition. We should be priced slightly ahead of the market, so that we're really competing against them. We should also be making sure our presentation is on point. So curb appeal, home staging, and amazing photography. That's going to help you stand out online, because really the first thing that people see is your digital curb appeal. What does your listing look like online? And then for buyers, you do have more options, but you still may face some competition. So there's still buyers out there. Things may take a little bit longer to sell than, in the past couple years when rates were really low. And yet people are still buying homes and selling homes, and that will continue regardless of the market that we're in. Everybody needs somewhere to live, whether that's a rental or a home that they own. So, of course, no matter what happens, home sales will still continue to happen. So don't, if you're a buyer and you're kind of worried about what's going on with the economy, or, you don't want to buy at the wrong time, there really is never a wrong time, because the longer you hold real estate, regardless of when you bought it, it should appreciate as long as you're taking care of the home, and making updates as needed. New construction homes, so all new construction homes throughout the metro, that has been in either a balanced or a buyer's market all year. Currently, it's in a buyer's market, meaning it's favoring buyers. So if that's a price point that you fit into, you may be able to get potentially a rate buy down, or additional appliances, or additional finished space, or they're more likely to give you some sort of incentive versus reducing the price. So you may have a slightly higher priced home, but you may have a lower interest rate through an interest rate buy down. So that's potentially something to consider if that fits within your budget range. We are certainly continuing to add more inventory. So we are just under 4,200 homes active on the market. Listings are slightly above 2024 this week. So this is on right now I'm talking about on a weekly basis. So if we're looking at this week, this year compared to 2024, listings are slightly above the 2024 numbers. Pendings, however, are tracking about the same as 2024. And of course, if you're looking at, what is consistently in a seller's market, under $300,000 is still very much in a seller's market. Again, that's looking at everything metro-wide. So if we took that down to a specific area of town, that may change a little bit. It could be in, a balanced market, or it could also be in a buyer's market, if there's just a lot of available inventory. But overall, pendings are tracking about the same, which is good, even though we're adding inventory. And 300,000 and under is still very much our seller's market, which is a lot of times first-time buyer price point, or maybe first move up from that 2-bed, 1-bath home. And another interesting factoid, this is from the National Association of Realtors. They've got a new statistics, demographic market area. So Des Moines, West Des Moines is one of those areas. And so I was looking at housing affordability. And the rule of thumb is you want to be spending less than 30% of your income on housing. So when we're looking at owners versus renters, 80.5% of owners spend less than 30% versus 54.9% of renters spend less than 30%. So if you're a renter and you could afford to buy, it may be worth looking into, because you may be able to get yourself in a position, maybe now you're paying 40% or even 35%. And you could buy a home that fits your needs and be in that 30% or under category. Wouldn't it be nice to have that extra income, or that extra money going towards house things or other repairs, right? So certainly something to consider. Part of that could be that, rents just have outpaced wage growth. So there is some of that as well. And yet, if you're in a position where you could buy a home, it's never a bad time to start thinking about it. And of course, you want to find somebody that's got your best interests at front and center, making sure that they're getting you into something that they know will help you in your lifelong goals of building your net worth and creating something for, whether it's yourself or your family, whoever it may be, creating something for the future. So thanks everybody for watching. And of course, we'll end today with our weekend numbers. This weekend, we saw 183 new homes come on the market. 125 homes went into pending or under contract status, and 129 homes sold. As always, if you've got questions, feel free to reach out. Always here to be a resource in any way that we can, whether you're thinking about buying, selling, investing, or you're just curious about what's going on in the market. We are always here to answer those questions for you. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Bye.